Hi everyone, and welcome to this week's Sunday night video. Now this week is something a lot different to normal. Now as you know, most of you know that the Sunday night videos can be about absolutely anything. So they could be a crime and punishment story, there could be an unsolved crime, there could be a disaster or a fire or anything like that, or they could be about the history of somewhere or the history of a person. But this week I thought that I would do a little drive around the coast. Obviously I'm not driving, so I thought I'd do a little drive along the coastline of from Tynemouth to Whitley Bay. So I hope that you'll enjoy it and find it interesting. But before we begin, can I just say that if you do enjoy this video, then please give it a thumbs up. And if you are new here or haven't already done so, then do please consider subscribing to the channel to help support the content we create. Thank you. It is completely free to subscribe. It doesn't cost you any money, but it really does help to support the channel. So there's Tynemouth Priory over there, and it's actually a really nice day today. The sun's shining, there's a lot of people out, so could find when we're going along here that there may be rather a lot of traffic, because obviously during the week it's a lot quieter, there's not as many people around, and obviously also because, like I've just said, it's quite a nice day. It is the 1st of December and it is absolutely freezing. So it looks lovely out there, it's actually not. So I don't think, I'm not going to spin it round to try and show you Tynemouth Priory from this side. All you would end up seeing is the steering wheel of the car. So obviously coming down here, there is something again that I won't be able to show you because it's down on the beach. And that's obviously, this is where Tynemouth outdoor pool used to be. Now it's not quite here, it's a little bit further along. But again, as I say, you won't be able to see it because it is actually down on the beach, so I can't show you it. But obviously it's somewhere that I used to go when I was a kid, and it's, at the moment, there are hopeful plans to reinstate it and start using it again. But it's a long job, and it may or may not happen. So there's the Grand Hotel, which I've only been in about once or twice, I think. And it's quite difficult for us to get the angle quite right when I'm holding the camera, because it does make my arm ache a little bit, because I've tried to get it so that you don't see the bonnet of the car, but on average you do. So we are now coming round into what I call the main part of Tynemouth. And again, like I said, because it's a nice day, there is a lot of people out and about. I did try to do this a couple of days ago, but the microphone, which I've been having an awful lot of trouble with, really was refusing to work. Now I hope that I have finally solved the problem, and I think it's been because I plugged the receiver in the wrong way round, so it wasn't picking up very good. So anyway, hopefully the quality is a bit better. So on the left there is Tynemouth Boating Lake. And that you can see it a little bit there. So you can see that there's some, well, they've just disappeared. There were some swans swimming past when I first moved the camera, but now they've gone. So we're coming along now to where Tynemouth Plaza used to be. Of course, that's all gone now. And in the distance, you can see St. George's Church at Cullercoats. So obviously, there's also a lot of zebra crossings around here, and they're all on a little humpty bridgey type things. So over there on the left is what used to be the Park Hotel. Now that was recently completely revamped and modernised, and it's now known as the Tynemouth Castle Inn. Now I've never been in there, but I've heard people say that it's lovely, it's brilliant and all the rest of it, but I've never been in. But it does look a lot nicer than what was left of the Park Hotel, which was terrible. So there we also have, which I keep calling it the Sea Life Centre, but it isn't, it's Tynemouth Aquarium, but that's what that is there. And I've been in there once. I went in to see the otters, and of course when I went in to see the otters, they were all asleep, so that was fun. So there's a lot of roadworks going on here, there's a lot of stuff going on in the area. So as you can see, there are all the barriers up on the right hand side there, and it is basically just a one-way street at the moment. Not really sure what's going on. I think it has something to do with cycle lanes, but I'm not really sure. So anyway, as I said before, there's St George's Church in front of you there. It's a rather spectacular building, and I've been in there a few times. I've been to a couple of weddings there, but that was a long, long time ago, so I can't really remember it. So we're now coming in to Cullercoats, and this part is, again, the barriers continue all the way along here. You can see work going on there, but I don't really know what's going on. I haven't really took much notice. So this is where all the nice big, as I like to call them, the nice big fancy houses are. And that is somewhere where I've always fancied living. I think they're lovely. They must have a really nice view when it's a lovely sunny day. I mean, obviously you must be able to see some fantastic sunrises from here. It's a really nice place to live. But yeah, can't really afford the houses because they are incredibly expensive. So we're now coming round to where there used to be, years ago when I was a kid, there used to be a few little arcades here, but it's mostly all cafes nowadays. But it used to be little arcades. And over there you've got the marine laboratory, which I don't think you can see because I probably swung the camera around just that little bit too late. So in front of you there, the big building, which you can see on the left-hand side, that used to be the Bay Hotel, but that was demolished, and that's now houses, I think. I don't know whether it's houses or a care home. I actually think it's flats. I'm not certain, but anyway, that's what that used to be, because that is that there. And then you're coming to a couple of the pubs that have been here for years. So you've got the Queen's Head there in front of you, and then you've got some temporary traffic lights by the looks of it. And just beside the Queen's Head there, you can't really see it because there's a couple of tractors and stuff. But that's where there used to be lots and lots of little boats. And I always used to look at them when I come past, but there doesn't seem to be very many there at the moment. There's just one is all I can see, the Alison Jane. And nobody else is there. Oh, there's a couple underneath, undercover. So I don't know what them temporary lights are for, but anyway, there's definitely temporary lights. So that's the Cullercoats Methodist Fisherman's Mission, just there. And we're now coming round to the next bit where you're close to the seafront. Like I said before, this is quite busy today. When I did the first video, it was a very dull, cloudy day. There was nobody around at all, really. But of course, that was also during the week. So as I say, when it comes to a weekend, you do tend to get a lot more people out and about, especially when you get a really nice day like today. So there's some houses here when you get towards the end. There's one that has an old gun in the garden, which I don't think you're going to be able to see, but I'll move the camera and see if you can see it. So that's the old gun, and then they also have a big old anchor. And somewhere around here, I'm sure there used to be one that had a cow, like a big cow in the garden, but that doesn't seem to be there anymore. So there is a building coming up on the left-hand side, which I believe was the high point, and obviously that was demolished and it is now flats. A lot of the old pubs in this area have been demolished and they have been made into flats and things like that. I mean, obviously the pub trade now is a lot less than it used to be when I was younger, so you tend to find that if the pub's old and not used, it does sometimes end up getting demolished. There's some pods in the garden there, which I think the father remember them. I think they probably went up to lockdown in 2020 and they seem to have stayed there as being quite popular. And I'm sure that it was somewhere around here, up there, I think. Oh, you might not have seen anything there because I'm sure that Ballard, whose name I can't remember her real name, but I'm sure she lived around there at one point in time, but I could be completely wrong. But if anybody listening knows, please do let me know. I'm sorry, I've just patted myself on the head, and I mean my microphone's on my hat, so I hope that you didn't pick any strange sounds up. So we're now coming in to the main part of Whitley Bay seafront. So This is basically where I spent a lot of my youth when I first started drinking. And on the left hand side is a lot of work going on. And I don't know, I think that's going to be made into flats. It looks like it's going to be made into flats. That's what I would guess at. So around here somewhere was where Rio's was, which was owned by Andy Taylor of Duran Duran. Some of the bizarre things I know. So just want to say, as we're coming along here, this is like I say what I used to be the seafront, and there's some work going on there at the Royal Hotel, which is all covered in scaffolding. It looks like they're planning on doing a lot of work to that. So just because we're going to be stuck at a couple of traffic lights coming along here, so I just wanted to basically add in, as I've said before, this isn't really a history story or anything like that. It's more or less just a little drive along the seafront. If you used to live here and you don't anymore, you get to see what the place looks like now. And even if you don't live here and you want to see what the place looks like, well, you're getting a sort of bird's eye view from my seat in the car. So in a moment, we're going to be coming past where Spanish City used to be. Now, I say where it used to be because obviously the dome, which you're going to be able to see in a moment, that is still there. There is a seagull perched on top of it, but I don't know that you can see that. But the Spanish City that I know was all basically things like the dodgems and hookah duck and stuff like that. Well, that is literally all gone. And the dome now is mostly restaurants and things like that inside. It was done up a few years ago and it really does look quite nice. And they do frequently paint it so that it's white because obviously white round here is going to get dirty pretty quickly. On the left hand side there, where we're sat at these traffic lights, you can see part of what is left of the only amusements in the area anymore. They do go up the side of the street to the left there, but obviously we're not going that way. We are actually going along the front. So up this side street here, you can see there are still a few amusements, but it's nothing like how I remember it when I was a kid. Because when you used to come down here, there used to be hundreds of little gift shops selling all the normal sort of knickknacks that you could buy at seaside resorts and things like that. And that care home used to be part of the car park, and there's now only a little bit of a car park left. And along here somewhere up one of these side streets was the house that was used in the Lightly Lads film in 1976. I am not sure which street that house is up, but I know it's up one of these. I just can't honestly remember which one, but I know that it used to be up one of those. So we're going to basically go right way along and down towards the lighthouse. We can't actually go into the lighthouse because obviously well, you can't drive over in any case, but the tide's in, so you wouldn't be able to get over the causeway because obviously I'm not plunging for anybody. That's definitely not going to happen. So when you come along here, you will come to where the Briardine used to be, which is now got a completely new name. It's called, it's coming from here, Tavern and Galley, it's called by the looks of it. But you've also got the car wash centre, which obviously used to be a petrol station and isn't anymore. It is now a car wash. So it's always very busy. There's always people here getting their cars washed. And like I say, the Tavern and Galley, yeah, that used to be the Briardine, and it's totally different now. I do quite like the little seats outside, like the little boat seats. I like quite nice. I hope I'm not swinging this around too much. I don't want to make anybody sick. So obviously, like I say, there's a lot of speed humps, and most of them seem to be on the little zebra crossings. So we're very, very close to the end of the video now because we are coming along and getting closer to Whitley Bay Lighthouse. There's some nice houses along here as well. I mean, I've always quite fancied living in a house that looks out onto the sea like that. because it must be, like I say, a lovely view when it's sunset or sunrise or whatever, but it also must be incredibly windy because you've got no protection from the sea, it just comes straight at you. So I've always been fascinated by these little houses here. I think these are fab, and I do love the verandas that they've got. It must be great to be able to sit out there when it's sunny, because when it's sunny down here, you can't get moved. And then also we've got Whitley Bay Cemetery there, which is on the left-hand side. Obviously, we can't go in there either. So we are basically just going to go round here and down into the lighthouse, and that will be the end of this little video. So coming down this little road that goes into the lighthouse, there is a place known as Curry's Point. Now, Curry's Point is the location where there used to be a gibbet. Now, hopefully one day I will be able to do the story that goes with Curry's Point, and hopefully be able to tell that as one of the Sunday night videos. But unfortunately, there is very, very little information about it, so it might be something that I absolutely can't do. So that's a lovely view out to sea there, because obviously this is the way the road goes. So you can see the lighthouse a little bit off in the distance there. It has just recently had a fabulous makeover, so it is now white again, where once upon a time, where once a few months ago it wasn't white at all. It was really looking a bit tired, and it was definitely in need of a facelift. Well, it has now had one, and it does look fabulous. So that's why we thought that we would just basically come right down to that so that you can see it. So I know I have to admit that I do kind of waffle on when I'm doing these videos, but it's totally unscripted, and I'm just saying whatever comes into me head at the time. So there is the lighthouse. The sea's quite rough, actually. You can see how rough the sea is. But there's the White House. Yeah, well, it is. It's white. The lighthouse is white, but there's still a little bit of work for them left to do, because they've still got to do a little bit of painting around the outside wall. I believe that might get done a bit later on. So we are just going to basically go into the car park so that we can turn around, and that's it. So I do hope that you have enjoyed this short little video. Well, it's actually been a lot longer than I was expecting it to be, but that's mostly been down to the traffic lights that we've been stuck in. So I do hope that you've enjoyed this. I know, like I said, it is very different to the normal kind of videos that I do for a Sunday night, but I do hope that you've enjoyed it. Do let me know, because I will be happy to do a couple of different things like this as well around other parts of the area. So I do thank you all very much for watching, and I do hope to see you all again very soon.